Welcome to the Grind to Greatness podcast, where we dive deep into the world of relentless determination, hard work, and unwavering dedication to help you unlock your full potential. We're your hosts, Jonathan and Joseph, and your mentors along this journey to greatness. Each week, we'll bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips where we've turned our dreams into reality through sheer grit and resilience. Whether you're looking to excel in your career, improve your health and well-being, or simply level up in life, this podcast is your go-to source for strategies, motivation, and the mindset needed to achieve personal excellence.
What's up, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Grind to Greatness podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Elite Mind Athlete Mental Performance Training Program. Is your athlete struggling with confidence to perform when it matters most? Do they get stuck in their own head during crucial moments? It's time to break free with the Elite Mind Athlete Mental Performance Training System. I'm Jay Ricardo, Mental Performance Coach, and I'm here to transform your mindset, preparation, and performance under pressure with our three-pillar system that focuses on outworking your self-doubt by building, self-doubt. What's up, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Grind to Greatness podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Elite Mind Athlete Mental Performance Training System. Is your athlete struggling with confidence to perform when it matters most? Do they get stuck in their own head during crucial moments? It's time to break free with the Elite Mind Athlete Mental Performance Training System. I'm Jay Ricardo, Mental Performance Coach, and I'm here to transform your mindset, preparation, and performance under pressure with our three-pillar system that focuses on outworking your self-doubt by building 1, an elite mindset so you could think and act like a champion. 2, elite preparation, embrace the unrequired success checklist in the unseen hours. 3, elite performance under pressure to elevate your game in high-pressure situations with our specialized mental performance training strategies. Plus, with the elite accountability, our gamified process allows you to compete on leaderboards, earn rewards, and stay motivated with one-on-one coaching calls with your mental performance coach. Don't wait. Visit EliteMindAthlete.com and sign up and start your journey to becoming unstoppable.
Boom.
There you go.
Done.
All right, my man.
Easy peasy.
So, Mr. Joseph.
That's me.
How you doing, brother?
I'm gratefully unsatisfied.
Gratefully
unsatisfied. Don't fuck up.
Man, I think you just messed it up.
No, we're grateful, but we're always unsatisfied. Always chasing.
I'm gratefully unsatisfied.
That's the quote. Yeah. Gratefully unsatisfied.
Never be satisfied.
Man, never.
Anybody who tells you to be satisfied, get them the F away from you.
Yeah, this is, you know what's funny is it comes off almost negative. We had a client the other day get super mad because we didn't allow her, I guess, enough time to sulk in her success. We were like, what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, awesome job, crushed your first goal. Let's go hit that next goal.
We didn't give enough acknowledgement.
Yeah. And she got really hurt, and I was like, man, like thinking through, like, be gratefully unsatisfied. Like, awesome, you achieved the goal. But like, what, like, one, it was a stepping stone to a bigger goal, number one. So we didn't achieve the big goal. We just achieved a stepping stone. But then 2, like, what kind of acknowledgement are you looking for to where your intensity, discipline, accountability is all tied up in whether or not we recognize it for a long period of time. It's not that we didn't recognize it. It's not that we didn't say, good job, awesome job, hell yeah, you're crushing it. It's just that when we questioned you to what's next, are you ready to keep going? It was almost like too much. You just wanted to stop right there. Maybe forever, maybe temporarily, who knows?
Yeah.
I got super hurt. And so thinking about the quote, being gratefully unsatisfied, I always tell people, we've talked about it before, I live in like a 4 to 6, 4 to 7 emotion range.
Yeah.
And that's how I keep that gratefully unsatisfied metric going, because no matter what I'm doing, I'm literally just like, I can't even, I think Drake said it, like, you don't even really enjoy the wins because you're just, as soon as you accomplish one thing, you're on to the next. Like, you don't have any emotion. It's just a task. It's just a checklist. It's just a to-do list. You know, you're like, boom, I did it. What's next? Boom, I did it. What's next? Boom, I did it. What's next?
Well, if you look at anybody that's massively successful, that type of mindset's almost needed to keep pushing. It's almost this fear you didn't do good enough, right? So you have to keep pressing. But to the world, it was amazing, right? But to you, it's you can get better, right? And so that's how abundance really grows. That's how you continuously achieve more. Is you have to be able to put yourself in that mind state, like, no, we can always get better, and that's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing. I come on the opposite end of the spectrum. When I achieve some wins, I'm very stoic, like, let's go. But at the very early stages, I get too excited and I set expectations too high. So I get way too excited about where I'm going in the work that I'm doing, that sometimes when I hit these roadblocks in between, it's tough to navigate my emotions because I set the fucking bar way too high. Because in my head, I was like, bro, all the preparation I did, I'm just way too confident with my preparation that I'm like, why isn't this working? I spent X, Y, and Z hours. I damn near killed myself. And almost that extreme amount of preparation kind of puts me in a negative sometimes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I have the opposite problem.
Yeah, it's, for me, I just go back to the lab. As soon as something breaks, I've broken so much shit the past couple of weeks. Fucking email systems are off, automations are off, tags are off, signups are off, fucking social media posts. I've broken so much stuff. I just immediately go back to the lab, and I have like zero emotion over it. I'm just like, oh shit, I just have to work.
You're always like this, like your face, your emotions, everything. Like, you don't get way. I've never seen you like right now as my pitch is getting higher. I've never seen you get higher, and I've never seen you just get super low. You've always been a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, I was at the gym the other day with the girlfriend, and I was getting frustrated because she didn't know how to use this machine, and she wouldn't ask for help, and her headphones were in, so she couldn't hear me trying to like coach her how to use the machine, right? And so she gets all upset. She takes her headphones out. She's like, "Why are you yelling at me?" I'm like, "I'll never yell. Like, I'm a 4 to 6 all the time. Like, if you think this is yelling, like you're," she's like, "You're yelling at me." I'm like, "Well, you won't ask for help. You won't ask for help.
Yeah.
You can't figure it out, and it's just like it's frustrating you. It's frustrating me because I'm a fixer. I want to fix things.
Yeah.
You won't listen." And so I was like, "We're both just frustrated." And now you perceive that as I'm yelling at you.
Yeah, her century rate's already high. So anything at this level, when somebody's frustration is high, anything, like you could be at a 2, they will perceive it as a 5, right? And so, yeah, be careful.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm always a 4 to 6. I just, again, I've never seen anything good come from too much emotions, I think.
Yeah.
You know, good or bad, right? Like, you get super duper excited. It's kind of almost like the honeymoon phase in a relationship, and then like a couple months later you get cheated on.
I don't know. I'm in this danger zone where I like it because I get to feel life, but also it humbles me like really fucking quick, and I get to feel the other side of life. And so I get to like go on both spectrums and like really like live it. It's almost I would say I enjoy it.
That stresses
All right,
me out.
I enjoy this high stress and the low stress, and you know what's a sunny. You're not going to enjoy the sun without the rain, right? You're not, and so you can't enjoy pain you can't enjoy pleasure if you never experience pain, right? You wouldn't have that reference point, and so I love being on both spectrums. I think sometimes I can just do better up front. Right, I can just like, hey, going into like, this shit may not work, but also it may work. So I have to outrange.
I like to use pain as a slingshot when things are easy, right? So I'm like, okay, let's just take the weather.
Yeah,
it's super cold outside. Nobody wants to do anything. Everybody wants to sleep in, stay tucked in their bed, don't want to go to the gym, all because the degrees 10, 15, 20 degrees colder than what you're used to, right? Most people in the winter months get lazy. They stop exercising, they stop doing all their things. But if you can take that painful environment and stick to your routine, how easy would it be when the weather is good?
Yeah.
How easy would it be when the weather warms back up? And this is true with all pain. So like, for instance, when my back was destroyed, I was like, I'm still going to go try to work out. And everyone thought I was stupid. I was like, but if I can work out while my back is at a 10 of pain, I can barely walk. I'm not doing anything dumb while I'm working out. But if I can do that, how easy is it for me to get myself to the gym when I'm healthy? You know what I mean? And so I think be careful sulking in your pains and like straying away from your routine or not sticking to your goals or not sticking to your values just because of a certain pain point, whether pain, financial pain, whatever the case may be. We just break character and we break priorities. And then when times are good, you're playing catch up.
Yeah.
And then this is where everyone's like, well, I can't get ahead. And I'm like, because every time you have a pain point, you quit for weeks, months, you know? And I think that's where I've learned to like set myself apart. Even like, it sounds stupid, but when you think back to like when you were younger, we were doing all this hard, stupid shit. I was like, man, when I was 20, 21, I used to do a 8 to 10 mile ruck march with a 50-pound bag on my back, or a 50-pound bag on my back. Then I used to go to the gym and work out. Then I would work all day. Then I would go to school all night. Then I would work out again. Then I'd wake up and do it all over again. Right? And I was like, dude, if I can go through that level of bullshit, everyday civilian life is easy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, using your pains to give you an opportunity to double down on your discipline and double down on your routine. And then again, when the pain subsides, because no pain lasts forever, life seems so easy.
Yeah. Well, I like to always frame things in principles. Well, because, my mind, and I think most people need things to help reference that definition that you just explained. And I would call that using adversity as an advantage, right? You just turn that negative emotion and you push into a positive, productive action. And that's one of the traits of when you start studying successful people, and that's what they do, right? They use negative emotion. While most people use negative emotions to sulk, to dwell, and to play why me, high performers use negative emotions to produce massive actions towards their goals, right? And so adversity into advantage. If you can remember that, that will cue you into like, wait, this is where most people give up. This is where I go in.
Right.
Yeah. And then you could smell, like I always tell my athletes, you
Have
could
you seen,
smell the separation, bro.
Have you seen Leanne's been tagging you and stuff?
Leanne? No.
Leanne, she always watches our podcast. And she tagged you in a story. She tagged you in, I think it was in a comment too somewhere. And she's like, Jonathan, you smell that? Because I forget what podcast you said it on, but it stuck with her.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to all my athletes. If anything, my athletes are always going to do the sniff. You smell that, and I just smell the separation, and that's where I gain my confidence. Just the mere fact that I'm waking up at 3 a.m., even if I don't do much, the mere fucking fact that I'm able to wake up and just do something, it's confidence.
Yeah,
right.
It's so crazy. I like talking about Leanne because Leanne, she battled cancer, got through it. But during the journey of cancer, obviously doing chemo, radiation, and proton treatment, type 2 diabetic, like that started because of the cancer. Kidneys are failing. There's like one or two other things. So we had to make some extremely restrictive diet, right? And she wasn't really overweight, but she wanted to lose some weight just for her sake. So she joins the challenge, the holiday challenge, right? She sets a goal, I want to lose 30 pounds in 8 weeks. And she's working out twice a day. Yeah. She's on a low sodium, low carb diet to fix her diabetes, to fix her kidneys. And she loses like 27 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
And then the next week after the challenge, she lost that final 3 pounds. So she got 30 pounds in 9 weeks. But when you talk about like separation, like so many people who become diabetic, kidney issues, cancer, they just shut down, right?
Yeah.
And Leanne was like, fuck this. I'm going to the gym twice a day. I might be throwing up in the bathroom because of my chemo and radiation, but I'll fucking get back on the treadmill. Yeah. Like she's always texting me, how do I work this? Like random machines in the gym she doesn't know how to use. How do I use this? How do I make it harder? And so shout out to
Leanne. And I do apologize. I get tagged on a lot of stuff and people at me and I don't ever see it because, to be quite honest, I'm not on social media like that.
Yeah.
I do my hour of social media and I'm off. Like I don't get back on until, I don't know, maybe to the next day.
Yeah.
And so it's just one for my mental health.
Yeah.
If I start scrolling and seeing stuff and wasting time, like I'm so fearful of wasting time that I just do my best to be as minimal as possible with social media. I do my job, do what needs to be done, cross out, dot my I's, then I move forward. But, real quick about separation, it's a mind game. Once upon a time ago, I normally would never want to wake up at 3 a.m. I wouldn't want to work on Friday nights or Saturday nights or even on the fucking weekend. You talk work, weekend, what the fuck? No.
Yeah.
All right. But I had to trick my mind and make me believe that if I do work on these times that most people aren't working, I'm gaining the advantage, whether I am or I'm not. Right. If I believe it mentally, then I'm going to, that's my belief system. Yep. Then that's where I gain my confidence. And so the only thing that shifted was just a mindset shift, right? That was it. Nothing changed. I just believed something different. And guess what happens? I became confident from it. And if you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. Because that's all it is. We live in the same world, but two people have two different minds. They perceive two different things. One sees almost everything as positive, productive action to move forward. The other one sees it as, oh fuck, why me? Like that's it, bro. Yeah. But that's going to transition to what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some lessons that we learned, some strategies that we possibly have learned in the past couple of months. Because I want to hold Joseph accountable. This is a podcast about getting fucking better every single day. And so I want to know what this guy's learned. I want to know maybe some strategies or maybe some hard lessons that he's learned, right? Because in our game, we hit adversity pretty hard, pretty often. And that's just part of entrepreneurship because you're just putting shit out and getting feedback from it. And so, Joseph, in this past couple months, man, what's some lessons that you can give some nuggets away?
Yeah, we looked it up and I couldn't put it into words, so I needed some help.
Yeah.
But investment versus ignorance. And ignorance is a painful word.
It's triggering.
When someone calls you ignorant, bro, fumes. I can just see people's fucking ears smoking.
Yeah.
But like you said, ignorance, it just means lack of education, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness,
right?
Ignorant.
You're just missing something. Yeah. And so if you could be open-minded, which is what we all say about everything, whether it's politics or religion or relationships, be open-minded. If you could be open-minded about your own lack of awareness or education in a subject, then you could see how things could be an investment. And so we have always it's weird that I've gone from Gold's Gym, which was a very expensive price point for personal training. People were spending $600, $800, $1,000 a month to hire a personal trainer for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a week. And then I go to Camp Gladiator, which is a discounted fitness membership, which is $50, $60, $70 a month for unlimited sessions in a boot camp setting. And then we come back to Facts Over Fads, and now Facts Over Fads has a higher price point. And so we built a higher price point to give people more education, more information, more support, more accountability, more customization, just more, right? So obviously it's going to cost more money.
Yeah.
And the ignorance that comes from clients who come from a discounted mindset who say, well, why aren't you just doing that for me already? I have a prime example. A client reached out to me and said, I don't want to book calls with Deidre anymore because there's a $25 no-show fee. And I was like, so are you planning on no-showing her? Because if that's the case, don't book an appointment at all, right? And she's like, well, I'm already paying for a monthly membership. Why would I also have to pay for a no-show fee? And I was like, because you're wasting her time, right? Like, it's $25, number one. But number two, why would you approach something that has like, hey, if you don't do your part that you're volunteering for, like, we're going to charge you because you're wasting our time. Other people could have filled that slot. So again, coming from this perception of value, this perception of what's worth it, what's not. I have people who will sign up, no questions asked, pay $300. And this has nothing to do with their financial successes, because some of these people will say, hey, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford this long term. Can I just keep you in the loop as the weeks go on so I can pause it or cancel it. I'm like, absolutely. But they still make the upfront investment to pay $300. Then I have people who I would argue with. I would argue for $60, like argue, like it's worth it. I'll save you money on the back end with your groceries. You'll stop drinking so much alcohol, you'll save money there. You'll stop eating out, you'll save money there. I have to like really convince these people that $60 is worth it. And the biggest lesson is like some people just either aren't ready, don't get it, the pain isn't there enough. And so again, we were talking about, based off of the desire, the dire need of something. Some people will pay an astronomical amount of money if they're in dire need enough.
Desperation causes massive action.
Right. You're like, fuck it. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it takes. I got to get it done. Versus, it could probably wait a little bit longer, or it's not worth it right now. I'm going to go out and shop around.
Yeah.
And so the biggest lesson is like, stop arguing with people about your value and stop arguing with people about the amount of information, education, resources that you can provide to see your value. And you're just going to have to you can gently educate them in the beginning, but then you just have to let them go. Well,
research shows, I'm going to put this on you. Research shows that anything below $100 is a low ticket item. And it's those type of people, not to say that they're good or bad, they could be fucking amazing human beings, but the mindset that you're going to pay under $100, they're going to fight you and pull you for everything they absolutely can.
It's wild.
Right. And so one of the main things that most people need to do is coaches or entrepreneurs is unfortunately raise your price, and you won't have to deal with that as much, because people who pay a higher investment, this is what they're getting. And they're more likely going to be like, hey, this is what I'm paying for. This is what I'm getting. I'm going to execute. They're probably going to do a whole lot better in the program, and they're not going to pull you and fight you for every discount possible. Yeah. Right. They're just different tiers of mindsets. For sure. I paid a dude $5,000 for real estate investment coaching. And dude, everything's on me. I'm a different type of mindset. That means I'm not texting him everything. Like, here's everything he's given me. It's on me to go and execute, right? I don't need you to check in with me daily. I don't need you to do X, Y, and Z. Like, no, you're giving me everything I'm needing. You're telling me the blueprint. All I have to do now is just follow it.
Yeah.
That is on me. Like, that now it's me. But when you start paying lower tier prices, the people who pay that lower tier prices are like, this plan doesn't work for me. I can't do X, Y, and Z, or it's not very clear. It's like there's a million excuses why they can't execute, right? So the blame is on you as the coach. I'm gonna blame you. These meal plans suck. I'm not getting enough meal plans. I think I need more meal plans. Oh, the grocery list is X, Y, and like, bro, the excuses are just crazy. But when you raise the prices, you give me the plan, you know what's gonna happen? You may not even fucking hear from them. They're just executing.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they're going to get on that phone call. I'm like, Joseph, it's on me. What kind of strategies do you have to kind of help me get better at adhering to my program?
Yeah, it's definitely you separate, again, like coaches burn out. Inky Johnson. People don't burn out. People don't quit because they forget why they do it. No. God, I'm going to fuck up the quote.
You're already fucking it up.
I know, I already fucked it up. It's because, but at the end of the quote, he says it's because life made them forget why they do it, right? Life makes you forget why you do it. And part of the coaching thing is life are your clients. And your clients at this lower end price point are so needy, are so miserable, are so victim mindset that it drains the coach. And so I always talk to coaches who have a lower end price point. And it's just painful to hear how much extra work they're doing for less money. And that's when you're going to burn out, right? You're like, man, you're letting this person who's paying you 60, 70, $80 a month literally control your whole life.
And you're giving them fucking thousands of dollars of value. Like what you're doing is a fucking premium, and you're just ignorant, right?
The coach is ignorant.
Coach is ignorant of how much value they're actually giving because they're used to this standard,
right?
And they're bought into the low ticket, high value, and you're getting burnt out. And because the lack of awareness is the value you're giving is actually a high ticket standard because you're bending over backwards. Like you're doing so much for these people that other entrepreneurs out there are doing less than you and charging thousands of dollars more. It's so wild, but because you're ignorant to it, that means you just don't know. You only know what you know. That's why you're feeling super exhausted, right? Teachers, real quick.
Yeah.
Teachers are fucking burnt out. They're bending over backwards for minimum amount of money.
Only to get shitted on.
Only to get shitted on by everybody, right? But I tell you, if they change that price point around, teachers will be a whole lot happier, right? Yeah. Because now they're bending over backwards, but the value is actually there for them.
You know what I would love to incorporate is like, if your student gets, or if your kid gets disciplinary action, the parent has to pay a fee. If the student fails a class, the parent has to pay a fee. And I wonder how much it would change the classroom environment.
They would be more accountable. The parents would be more accountable. But you know what those parents are going to say? It's not my job. They're the teacher.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't ask me to be a parent ever.
Being a parent is part of you teaching behavioral problems, becoming disciplined, learning how to study, learning to do your homework.
And it's not like you have to sit with your kid and do the homework with them. You just have to say, hey, go do your homework. Go get it done, or else you're grounded. How hard is that?
Well, that's hard. Like they're going to be trauma. Anyways, that stuff irritates me.
I want to give a shout out to Badger CPA, good friends of mine, Jonathan and Shannon, husband and a wife. And I was at lunch many years ago with Jonathan, and he said, dude, we fired our lower third clients. And we categorized it based off of like their price point, and we categorized it based off of like how good of a client they were. And so we had like top tier clients, mid tier clients, lower third clients. And he goes, 1 year, Shannon and I sat down and said, let's just get rid of all these bottom thirds. They're stressing us out. It's a good chunk of money, but it's not worth it. Like, we hate each other dealing with these clients. We hate them. So we're not even giving them a good service, because every time they are needy or fuck something up, we get mad back at them. So it's not a good relationship. Let's fire them all.
Yeah.
He's like, so now we only work with the top 2 tiers. Like, a good price point, a good client, you're going to do your part. And again, it's your taxes, right? So I shouldn't have to because he was like, man, we would send 10 emails to get 1 piece of paper for your taxes.
Yeah.
We would send 10 emails to get you to book 1 call for your taxes. We would send 10 emails, right? And he's like, it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And so we got rid of them all.
It's funny you say that, because right now I'm going through something very similar. I just onboarded 40 high school athletes. Onboarding was a 3-step process. Fill out this player evaluation form. Let me get some baseline information from you, your goals, etc. Step 2, download the app. Step 3, send me a text. I'm ready, coach. Like, whew. Like 3 steps, right? Out of 40 athletes, the 80-20 rule goes into effect. 20% of the athletes, boom, 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 ready, coach. That 80% not responding back with where they're at in the process. I even had one, I sent multiple messages, and then the parent sent me a message. Your instructions are very unclear, X, Y, and Z, da, 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 da. And I was like, 20% of your athletes have already filled this out with no questions asked. Yeah. I was like, I don't understand. It's a 3-step process. I was like, what part are you on? Yeah. I was like, I sent your son 10 messages trying to guide him for help. Your son responded 0 times. I was like, I know there's going to be some confusion. They're kids.
Right.
And I understood that. That's why they all get a separate message asking them, hey, where you at in this process? How can I help you? Boom. Right? Now it's on them. Right? Now it's not mommy come save the day. Now it's me. What I'm going to be dealing with for the next 90 days is, how can I set the expectation for these parents to understand that, listen, little Johnny is as busy as everyone else. He's not busier than anybody else. Yeah. Little Johnny is as busier than anybody else. And if he can't do a 30-minute routine 3 times a week, then maybe he should reconsider playing anything.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be very direct with them, but also at the same time, I'm going to use ChatGPT to kind of like soften it up and stuff like that. But one of the things I have to get across, because I always, at least 10 to 20% of the time, I get parents trying to give little Johnny excuses on why they can't do the program, right? And I need to find a way that I set the tone up front that's very mild and not very disciplined, direct excellence, right? Because that could turn a lot of people off. But to help them understand that, like, this program is built and made for little Johnny to struggle.
Yeah.
And this program is built to help little Johnny in that time of struggle. And it's going to be where we don't want to lighten the load for them. We want to teach them to handle the load better. Right? How can I frame this so that way the parents aren't getting upset, which they will. Like, it's going to come, but I want to do my best possible way of letting that standard up front know in a more educational approach. That's my job today. That is my job today.
And it's tough, right? Because when you're like, hey, I've got 20% of people who did it, no questions asked.
Bro, seamless.
It's from a coaching standpoint, it's really hard not to throw that in their face, right? I can do that with all my clients. I have 5 clients who are 100 pounds down. What's your excuse? On the same system, same meal plan, same app, same communication strategies, same email, same check-in text messages, 100 pounds down. You can't lose 5? Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, but I want to. I really do. Like, to open up your eyes to the potential, right? Because I think some people just get blinded of, it's not for me. Nothing's going to be for you if you don't put in the work. Nothing's going to be for you if you don't try. Nothing's going to be for you if you don't try to better handle the load. As you said, you're trying to lessen the load. No, let's not lessen it. Let's just handle it better. Let's compartmentalize things. Let's separate things. I always tell people, just because you're stressed does not mean you have to go eat your feelings. Just because you're tired and bored doesn't mean you have to eat your feelings. We have to learn how to handle these stressors better. They're not really going to ever lessen. You're not just randomly going to wake up one day not stressed, or not triggered, or not tired, or not whatever. You have to build the systems to hold yourself accountable and say, hey, when this happens, I do this instead of what I used to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I just like, making the excuses of, I'm too tired. I don't have the energy. I'm stressed. I had a long day. I had a long week. My life's hard. Like, and going back to our teachers, a lot of teachers are overweight too. There's also a lot of teachers who are not overweight. And so when people are like, man, I became a teacher and like my stress went through the roof and I started to gain all this weight. And I'm like, that wasn't mandatory. You didn't have to gain weight. You chose to gain that weight. You chose to cope with wine or all these happy hours with your teacher friends or snacking in the break rooms, or like, that was a choice that you made. Look around your school. There's some skinny teachers out there. They did not make that same choice. And it's a very hard conversation to have. But again, it's like, if you can't have hard conversations or someone's not willing to call you out on your bullshit, like, how do you ever expect to get better? And that's what annoys me, is when you try to call someone out on their bullshit, or when you try to make them aware and less ignorant of what's actually going on. Because when you're in the fucking grit of it, you can't see. Like, it's very hard for people to take a step back. Like, where am I failing? How am I failing? Why do I keep doing this? So if someone from the outside looking in, they have the best view. They have the best perspective to be able to be like, hey, I'm watching you self-sabotage yourself. We have to fix this. But more often than not, when that happens, people get triggered. People get defensive. They blame you. They say, you're an asshole. And it's like, gosh, when are we going to kind of be able to have these tough conversations again, like adults?
You normalize tough conversations.
Just normalize it.
Yeah.
Just fucking normalize it. And you know what's funny is I've been having tough conversations for so long this way, not this way.
Yeah.
And then Christy, the girl I'm dating, like day 5, she came at me with a tough conversation.
Yeah.
Bro, and I was like,
I always come at you with tough conversations. I'm like, why are you overweight with no muscles? Like, that irritates me so much.
That's not a tough conversation.
Do something about it. I'm telling you. Well, for a lot of people, they wouldn't want to tell you. I tell you every fucking time I see you, I get irritated that you aren't jacked.
This guy. But yeah, like when these tough conversations come, it's easy. Like, again, I felt myself like getting I was like, oh shit, like, she's coming at me.
Yeah.
with questions and concerns and shit that on my part that were my fault. And I just had to like sit there and be quiet. And I didn't know how to, so I was just quiet. I was really just quiet. I didn't get mad back. I didn't fucking defend myself. I explained myself very calmly, very cordially, because I live at a 4 to 6. And then we moved on. And I was like, are we good? And I knew like we weren't, like the conversation wasn't over.
Yeah.
But for the night, it was over. And so we had to go to dinner and stuff. We come home, we're on the way home from dinner. Conversation comes back up. And she's like, honestly, you're really scary. I was like, why? She's like, because you just got so quiet. And I was like, I didn't know how to respond. You know, I was like, I would rather be quiet and just listen to what you're saying than like lash back at you.
You know what she meant? That it's different. She's not used to that. Right?
Oh, yeah, I know.
And that's scary, is when you're about to get into a conversation you know might get heated, and your expectation is we're going to start fighting, and then it doesn't happen. Scary, right? Because it's not. I would rather them fight back with me because that's normal, right? And I understand, but you not doing it, that's not normal. And when things aren't normal, that's scary.
Yeah, and then also she's like, it's day 5, so she's like, you could have walked away at any moment. You know, like was the argument, was the fight, was the me bringing it to your attention even worth it? Because it's day 5.
Yeah.
Like you could have just fucking been like, this isn't worth it. Like let's walk away. And I was like, yeah, I could have. I was like, no, I just get quiet. Like I'm not gonna. I know that there's a verbally abusive version of me where I can like make you feel really stupid very easily. And I was like, I was just trying not to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so the only other option I had was to be quiet and just hear you out and then state my case and then see if that was good enough for now.
Yeah.
Because not good enough forever, but for now, for this moment that we're in, you know, could it kind of give us some peace in the moment?
Let me give you some advice from a lesson that I learned about 2 weeks ago from a couple that just celebrated the 50-year anniversary of marriage. So I asked the question, what's the secret? Right? Curiosity. I want to know because they looked very happy. What I mean was they were always smiling at each other. They held hands every single time they had the opportunity to. The door is open. Like there was so much service between the two of them. Like they were trying to outserve each other. And I was like, whoa, 50 years. And they seem as if it was day 2, right? You know, the honeymoon. I was like, whoa, you don't see that very often. And it was the cutest thing because they're old, bro. They're old. And the way they just loved on each other, I was like, yo, that's awesome. And I asked the husband, and he said, listen. Just listen.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my secret. I listen to her and I get the information and I do what she might be saying things subliminal, but if you listen, you'll find the answer. He's like, I just learned how to listen. Yeah. And I was like, right? Because most people are always looking for defense. A lot of people are just looking for ways to just talk back. Right. Or to make the other person feel triggered too, right? Match the match. Yeah. And so he's like, no, I just listened, right? Yeah. And it solved a lot of problems before it even became problems.
Yeah, matching energy is in a relationship could be like hurtful, right?
Super common, right? It's natural.
It's natural, very natural. It's like someone comes to you with a problem and you immediately fire back, right? Yeah. And then boom, this whole big thing escalated. And so trying to, again, whoever's on the receiving end of this issue, like listen,
recognize,
recognize. And sometimes like sometimes it's not even the issue that's like brought to your attention. It's a true issue. It's like a surface level issue, but there's a deeper one, you know? And so listening will definitely help that out as well. Cause I promise like the problem isn't that like the dishes weren't done. The problem was maybe that they felt disrespected, right? So it wasn't really the dishes. It was just the act of maybe you not doing the dishes, which makes it seem like you're disrespecting your partner. And the disrespect is the problem, not the dishes. And so then that carries over into multiple layers of the relationship. If you're going to disrespect me by, saying you're going to do something and not doing it, where else are you disrespecting me? Where else can I not trust you? Where else can I blah, blah, blah?
If you had to take a guess, what is my secret? Because we're coming on 20 years being together, me and my wife. What do you think my secret is? Knowing me,
Well, I've heard a little bit about a lot. I've heard you've asked your spouse, "How can I serve you today?"
Mm.
And I've heard you. Uh, there was a weird time of y'all's life where you give her the time and the space to take care of herself. Like, go work out, go do this, like, go, like, you're not yourself. You feel better when you work out. You haven't worked out in a while. And then faith.
So, amongst any great organization, one of the pillars to be successful is communication.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you communicate with me and don't expect me to be a mind reader, I think we can be okay.
Yeah.
I think if we have some expectations and we communicate with each other and then we have check-ins on how we're doing with that. Mm-hmm. So communication, accountability, almost anything you need to be successful, you need some type of communication, a line of it, so you have a clear understanding of what both parties want, which is like a coaching client aspect. Yeah. And also, do we have accountability that we're uplifting those standards that we're and expectations that we're holding, right? And can we have those hard conversations that most people are afraid of? I think most people are afraid to tell the significant other, hey, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
You know what? Or I'm not getting enough sex. Yeah. Or I'm not getting enough time. Or you're not paying attention to me. Or you haven't touched me in a couple of days, right? They're afraid to tell their spouse because they don't know what the reaction is going to be. Yeah. And me and my wife, we've had to learn to download those hard conversations because we both understand, like, oh, wait, you're right. You're running empty on these different love languages. Mm-hmm. We took those love languages book, 5 languages, and we took them to art. Yeah. Hey, where were you at with these? Yeah. Are you running fucking low? Because I actually, before you even say something, I recognize you're running low on something. So I'm going to pause you because maybe you might be a little hesitant today to say something, mm-hmm. but I see it. Hey, what's wrong today?
Yeah.
And so I open up space. Mm-hmm. to make it not weird to have these conversations. Yeah. But yeah, communication.
Love languages are super important. I think for me, it's funny because there's ways that you give love and there's ways that you receive love, and those can be different. Mm-hmm. So the way that I want to receive love is through physical touch and quality time. But the way that I want to give love is actually through acts of service and quality time. So like, I'm not very touchy-feely, like giving it to you. I'll cuddle and hold your hand and stuff every so often. But, and so coming back to acts of service, that's where you need to communicate with me of your pain points. You need to communicate with me of what you're struggling with, because I can probably help fix it through acts of service, right? And so, but if you don't communicate, one, I feel useless because I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And then 2, you're frustrated because you're trying to juggle all these things and you need help and you feel like you're failing. And so I think in previous relationships, that was a huge like miscommunication there, where someone tries to take all the responsibility and do everything on their own, and then they never ask me for help. So I feel useless, you feel overwhelmed, and then boom, this big argument comes about.
Communication. Yeah, communication. I think there's just a lot of misconceptions. Well, not misconceptions, just a lot of ignorance when it comes to love languages. Mm-hmm. I think they're super powerful, but if you don't know how to use them, like example, ignorance. My love language is physical touch. So when I physical touch you and I touch your hand and I hold you and I love you, I think I'm giving you your love. Yeah. Right? And then when you're like, hey, I feel like you're not loving me. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been touching you and loving you and feeling you. Yeah. And she's like, no.
I need words of affirmation.
I need words of affirmation. I need you to tell me I'm beautiful. Yeah. And that, without having that conversation, you'd be confused. You'd be blindsided, right? You wouldn't know what to do. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. And that would cause a massive argument if you don't understand how that works.
Yeah, we brought this into our onboarding questionnaire at Facts Over Fads. So one was like, what's one way that you will feel supported by your coach? So tell us, like, what can we do to make you feel supported? And then another question is, if you're going to give up, what's going to be the reason why you quit or give up?
Oh, that's a fucking great. So both of those are great questions. Yeah. I went into ChatGPT because I kind of redefined my player evaluation form, and it kind of popped up one question that I was like, that is a fucking great question. And the question is very similar to one of yours. It was, how would you like to be coached? Hard coaching, motivational coaching, or it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like that means because not every player or every person has to be coached the exact same. Right. Some just need some motivation, can't bring them back up. Mm-hmm. Some, I had an athlete say, Jay, tell me to wake the fuck up. Because I'm slacking. Like she's screaming out for help. Tell me to wake the fuck up. Don't give me no good morning, wake up type shit. Tell me to wake the fuck up. I need to feel some pain. And I'm like, that's like, like, and then so when Chat GTP gave me that question, I was like, God, I love her. I love Chat, bro. Like that was a great question, man. I love it. Hey, bro, just kind of like wrap things up. I'm gonna give you because I want to be held accountable to what I've learned over the past couple months and some pain points. But over the past couple months, two things. One, I went through another sprint of the only thing that matters was one thing, like literally family, everything went to fucking shit. My health. In the past month of January, I've gained 15 pounds. I didn't work out, but maybe 20 minutes just to like say I did something. I tracked zero nutrition. I didn't have food on my mind. I wasn't hungry, which is weird, but I gained weight is because when I did eat, it was just fucking pure high caloric foods, right? Bad, terrible foods. Well, not bad. Just foods that aren't nutrient dense, right? And I started drinking a little bit of alcohol to kind of relieve the stress. And all I did was want it to work, right? It was preparation for a month of February because I knew I needed to hit a home run. And in that time period, I had anxiety attacks, right? Causing me to not be able to speak, causing me to feel like heart palpitations as if I just sprinted a 100-yard dash and I'm not doing nothing. I'm just talking to my wife. I was out of breath. It was so weird. Well, anyways, one, you need to know where your edge is. So to be like, oh, don't ever go there. Well, you have to understand what you're capable of, right? That's how you push it. But two, what I've learned was in month 2, and I found this strategy, and I think I had it, I just never applied it, is do the one thing.
Yeah.
Just do, because in month 1, that one thing took over the entire day. In month 2, I just had one task on my list. And if I did that, then I can go and take care of myself and be with my family and doing X, Y, and Z. Month 1, that list was full of that one thing. It was just a laundry list of that one thing, which was business. Now it's okay, here are my lists for my 5 pillars of my life. If I can just do that one thing for business that's going to move me forward and then double check it as in, is this really that fucking important for me to do? Yeah. Like have a double check. And you know what? It only really took 2 hours to move the needle forward versus me just running and gunning all day. Like what it actually took of just pure focus. And so this month I just did the one thing and now I go work out. I go on my run. I have time for my kids. And it was just a complete transformation. And I was like, man, I wonder if my next sprint season, out of curiosity, if that one thing is going to be enough.
Well, you'll build competence.
I'll build more efficiency, right? Because of that one thing, because of month 1 of chaos, all that volume was basically somebody practicing 3 times a week for 6 months into 1 month, right? I just kind of expedited that process. So now next time I do work, I'm more skilled, right? And so the lesson was have your laundry list, but just pick one thing and then double check to make sure, is this important or is it a priority? Like, know the difference between urgent. Is it urgent or is it super important, right? Yeah. And you don't always want to go with urgent. You want to go what's going to move the needle forward and then just do that. And the mental release that's allowed me to do, I'm able to get back to my health. I'm able to get back to my family. I'm able to be more, have more clarity. I'm able to be more present and just trying to figure out are those month ones of sprinting for an entire month, going chaos. Is it worth it? Is it necessary for you to understand what month 2 is going to look like?
I think yes. Because again, I think you have to figure out where's your tipping point. How much can you handle before fucking your life blows up in front of you?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't even get close to that. They don't ever understand their true potential. Again, as long as it's like within a safe measure, right? Like don't go get a divorce, please.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you have to be willing to kind of go all in. And you have to be, and again, we talk about sprints in terms of seasons. And it's not, you can't sprint forever.
Yeah.
You can't always sprint.
No, I would have fucking died.
Yeah.
Fucking for sure if I kept that going.
But you for sure learn like what you're actually capable of.
Yeah.
And then every sprint after that, like you said, you can get more efficient, you can get more competent. So the stress, if the stress was a level 10, month 1 of this sprint, you can do the sprint again in a couple months and now it's only like an 8. Mm-hmm. And you do it again in a couple months and then now it's only a 6. So these sprints get easier and easier and easier because you've created a system for it, you've got more efficient at it, and you've been more competent at it. And so therefore, when you're like, hey, if you can just focus on this one thing, that was month 2. But if you get really competent, really efficient, really good at that, next month you can probably do 2 things.
I'm having this back and forth because I'm getting a little irritated from these super high successful achievers. One of them, I'll call out Chris Williamson. Mm-hmm. He's on this side right now. He's like, why fucking kill yourself? Why take yourself to that edge? Why max out your capacity and stress and never feel good enough and feeling crippled about never being enough? And is it even fucking worth it? Like right now he's at this path. Mm-hmm. And so almost to the point where once again, you're preaching to a point where you're so high a level that, yeah, at that level, it's not worth it no more, right? Like you've hit all the milestones. Yeah. And I think they just, I want to choke the fuck out of them. Yeah. Because
they're sending the wrong message.
Because if they didn't fucking kill themselves and do all the stress and go through the fucking roller coaster ride of the journey, you wouldn't even be where you are. What if you just did the coast since day one? Let's balance, let's enjoy life. You wouldn't fucking be where you are today. And I think it's super important because there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers who are, no, you can get far without killing yourself. I'm like, well, you never really know your true fucking potential then. Yeah. You don't know what you're capable of, and you don't know the science behind it. You're just doing so much fucking volume that you're forced to get better and more skilled. Yeah. And then so when you go off after that stage, your work is still at a high capacity with less intensity. Like you still produce, you have a higher leverage now. My hour is like 30 minutes now. Right. My 30-minute input creates an hour now, which my hour would create an hour output. Yeah. My 30-minute input would now create an hour output because I'm just way more fucking skilled at it. Yeah. And you have to go through these, especially if you're trying to get successful as fast as possible, which is one principle that you have to download if you want to have mass success, is you got to have a fucking sense of urgency. Yeah. Right? Tomorrow's not fucking promised. Mm-hmm. You got to get the fuck after it and you got to win the day. Like you have to have that sense of urgency or else you're not going to move. Yeah. What causes that desperation? You play the fucking mind game that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed this is going to work. And so that forces the mind to be in desperation mode to take massive fucking action. But it also makes you fucking feel weird as shit. Mm-hmm. Because nobody's going to fucking understand.
No one gets it. And that's like, again, you have Chris Williamson, he's obviously like super successful now. But if you look back at how he became successful, he fucking worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. I remember he was like, how to get my podcast out there. He texted like 5,000 people in one day, one by one by one by one by one. Can you listen to my podcast? Can you listen to my podcast? And give me a review. He's like, he texted everyone in his cell phone, everyone on social media, listen to my podcast. That's fucking gruesome. Can you imagine sending 5,000 one-off text messages?
No.
Like, that's terrible. But then you have people like Dana White, who's fucking extremely successful, and he says the same, he says a completely different thing. He says, there is no tomorrow. He's like, It's a quote from Rocky, and it's in our gym, and it's in our offices. There is no tomorrow. Yeah. Like, attack today. This whole thing, like, you got time, you don't have time. Go do it. And so you have to be careful with who you listen to because, again, these millionaires and billionaires who are like, you need a work-life balance, you need to relax, go on vacation, take a break. You can do that now, motherfucker.
Absolutely. And maybe the preach is when you have achieved whatever you're out to achieve,
Yes.
that should be the approach. Man, then yeah, maybe you should really understand that anything more of that is not going to make you fucking feel better. That should be the approach. But hey, if you're in the fucking beginning stages and you are nobody, you haven't achieved nothing that you want to achieve, then no, motherfucker, you shouldn't shoot for fucking balance, because guess what? You'll never get there if you do. Nobody won being fucking balanced. Nobody gets a fucking trophy for being fucking balanced. Nobody says, hey, recognition of the month for being the most fucking balanced. It's not a fucking thing because you achieved nothing. Nobody knows your fucking name because you're so balanced. Like, bro.
When we partner with CG to build CG Nutrition, so many coaches were like, well, I'm doing nutrition. Well, I'm doing nutrition. Well, I'm doing nutrition. I'm like, well, obviously you're not fucking doing it enough. Yeah. Or obviously you're not doing it right. Because $1 million company didn't reach out to you to help build it. Nobody knows your name. You're making $10,000 a year. Like, we're making $300,000 a year. There's a little bit of separation between you and me because I'm literally obsessed with what I do. Yeah. When we launched CG Nutrition, it was such a great time in my life to be single because I worked when we launched, I probably worked for 3 weeks straight, 20 hours a day. Nights, weekends, didn't matter. Tyler was the vice president. Dude's married. Dude has a life. I don't have a life. Yeah. My life is my work. And that's why like people come to me for these issues and these problems, because I will outwork you. And I will work and work and work until I fix the problem. Yeah. There is no tomorrow. I will fix it today.
And I have that with the marriage.
Yeah. And so it just like pains me for people to like be so slow to action, so slow to execute, so slow during their action. Like, oh yeah, I'm taking action on it, but I'm gonna do like a little bit here, a little bit there. And I'm like, dude.
That's okay. Speaking of pain point, that was my lesson I learned, was to, hey, learn how to focus on one thing. But the pain point that I've been feeling lately is the lack of fucking execution from coaches. Mm-hmm. It kills me how many lives that they're serving with very low fucking standards for themselves, and how that's hurting the next generation. It blows my mind if you're a coach and you aren't operating to your own fucking standards. What are you doing to the kids?
Literally.
I'm too busy is not a fucking real thing. It's not a real thing. The amount of times that I get from coaches, if I'm too busy, just means one fucking thing. You don't know how to execute. You don't know how to manage yourself. And if you can't lead yourself, you cannot lead others. Mm-hmm. Like 100%. Like, I don't know when people are going to fucking understand that. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead your family. You cannot lead fucking others. You are basically half serving everyone around you, but you're fucking telling yourself you're serving others. Yeah, but at what value? Half value? Once again, you want an award for doing half the work? And so me going through that is, how do I find compassion and empathy for that when you're working with that? I've been praying about it so much and trying to find ways of reframing my mindset so I'm not irritated to the fucking max that you can't do little things at a timely manner. Very little things. I'm talking about things that take seconds.
I know.
Like
text me back.
Things that take seconds and you can't do it in a timely manner fucking blows my mind to pieces. And I'm praying and trying to really, I think I need to, maybe I'm ignorant in the fact of empathy and really trying to understand. And maybe that's my next phase of like finding a book, finding somebody who's mastered empathy so I can have a better reframing to go to instead of getting elevated so much. I can have, wait a minute, let me shifts gears here to help me relieve this frustration and kind of meet them where they are a little bit quicker.
Well, I think you have to. So like a sales tactic, right, is like to create a needs. So you do like a needs analysis. So you ask the coach, what do you need? What are your pain points? What do you want out of your athletes? What do you want out of your team? So on and so forth. And then you plug yourself in as a solution for all of that. So instead of just saying, here's my program, here's how we do things, I need you to execute, You say, what do you need? Okay, here's how my program is a solution. And then here's what I need from you, right? And so if you kind of reverse azimuth it, if you start with them and their needs, and so you say, because then you can have a touch point of being like, hey, remember when you told me you needed X, Y, Z? I'm doing my part, you're not doing yours. So either what you told me was a lie, you don't really need it because it's not important, because if it was important, you'd execute, and you're not executing, or maybe the need's not great enough. And so how do we increase that need, right? So if it's like, hey, I need my athletes to work better as a team, step up into leadership roles, really excel in their strength and conditioning outside of the season, whatever the case may be. And you tell me that, and I'm doing that with your athletes, but you're not helping me, or you're not stepping into your leadership role, something's got to change.
Well, once again, I set the bar too high.
No, bro, I don't think you did.
One, well, I mean, if you're a coach, the bar should be set fucking high. You're leading other people. Yeah, the bar should be set. Yeah. But the problem was the last coach operated in excellence. The last coach had a fucking standard. The last coach gave no excuses. The last coach got the fuck after it. And so I texted the last coach. I was like, hey man, I appreciate you, but also fuck you. Because you set the bar too fucking high, my man. Now I'm trying to pull teeth to get very minimal work done. And he just started laughing. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. He's like, good luck with that. It's going to be rare that you find other coaches like that because they're overworked, underpaid type deal, right? Sure. But still, like, God, have some dignity and pride in your name. Yeah. And that's like the basis of a good human being in my eyes, is have some dignity and pride in your name, okay? Yeah. That's it.
But also, like, what's the goal? Like, if I was a coach, let's say I was like, so we saw this a lot for me, and for whatever reason, the coaches that I were coached by in middle school got promoted and went to high school. So literally for 6 years, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, the coaches stayed with us. They just kept leveling up. And then you're like, okay, well, what's after that? Well, then you should go to a college level. And then, well, what's after that? Well, then you should go to a professional or semi-professional level. So as a coach, it would be hua of you to create winning teams and winning athletes, because then you level yourself up. Like, your career gets leveled up.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem that I think coaches face. Majority, I say 99% of coaches. All right, it's rare that you're gonna come across a coach who practice what they preach. Mm-hmm. It's super fucking rare, and it's sad. But I think the problem is fucking ego. 100%. When I speak to coaches or talk to coaches, they're hesitant to get help. They're hesitant to fucking get feedback. They're the exact opposite of what you would want from an athlete. An athlete, you want them to be coachable. You want them to learn how to handle feedback. You want them to be able to communicate. You want them to want to get better. But when it comes to a coach, bro, they're the exact fucking opposite. They don't want to hear the feedback. They obviously know it all. They're in the position. They've had success when they were fucking 19 years old. Yeah. They have maybe won some trophies back in the day. All right. And so they hold on to all this pride. And so it's really hard to detach that from, like, motherfucker, you ain't doing shit today. Yeah. Like, let's reframe where the fuck we are, and like, whoa, we need help. Yeah. Become a player for a second. Take the hat off and let's get fucking better. The best coaches in the world are students. Yep. The best leaders in the world are fucking students. Mm-hmm.
Always.
And they're always constantly looking to improve. Those are the type of people that I always will have a seat at my table for.
They don't exist anymore. You'll be eating alone for quite a while, my brother.
Well, there's a seat right there. You took it.
I'm here.
More seats.
I'm here.
Let's end it.
Don't work to keep up.
Nah, man, recap. Do your recap. You over here is taking my shit. I know you like that. Except for you created a shirt off of it. I was like, God damn.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We kind of got off on some rambles, but today's episode is all about lessons, right? Lessons we've learned.
Pain points.
How to take your ignorance and switch it to a learning opportunity and be open-minded. We say it all the time to other people, but sometimes we don't take it for ourselves. And so if you found anything helpful in this podcast, again, with finding value in what you're doing, with your work ethic, with your capacity, how to balance work and relationships, how to get ahead, how to systematically improve your work life, share it with a friend, like it, comment it. You know, we read the comments. And so again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the comments. But other than that,
man, don't work to separate.
You messed it up.
Dang, just because I was
Don't
so
work to keep up,
work to separate, and get the fuck after it.